The Syrian government did send the buses to the designated crossing, but it made clear hours later that it wasn't on board with the evacuation deal. The wounded, the rebel fighters and their families and other civilians in besieged areas in Aleppo city never came. The Turkish-mediated agreement between the Russian government and the rebels unraveled, and the brief ceasefire collapsed. Pro-government forces resumed the bombardment of the tiny pocket of territory under rebel control. Civilians remain trapped in a war zone.
The regime is violating the truce by shelling the neighborhoods. People were able to go to the streets for a few hours, but the shelling started. This is a provocation. They didn't want the deal to go through.
The Syrian government wasn't happy with the agreement, a military source saying it must be approved by Russia and Iran, and it must be comprehensive and involve other areas facing similar situations. The opposition says Iran introduced new conditions. It wants a similar evacuation from two loyalist towns, Fua and Kefreya, besieged by rebel forces, as well as the release of Iranian prisoners. Turkey hasn't declared the Aleppo deal dead yet and says it is talking to Russia and Iran to try to keep it on track.
Last night I spoke with Sergei Lavrov, and we will speak again with Lavrov and Iran's foreign minister today. And I hope everyone complies, and within the framework there will be an end to the violence and oppression.
The planned evacuation of civilians and fighters was effectively a surrender. It has happened in other rebel areas over the years. The UN calls it forced displacement. The evacuation deal announced late on Tuesday gave civilians trapped in besieged areas in Aleppo hope. They said it wasn't an easy decision to decide to leave their homes, their lives, their city. But they didn't have much of a choice. They described catastrophic conditions inside those areas. A situation they still face.
It's a desperate situation in Aleppo. Today there was supposed to be a ceasefire. But as you can see, planes are dropping cluster bombs. We are facing a genocide. At least 50,000 people are besieged.
The evacuation was supposed to save the lives of many people. Their fate now as uncertain as any deal. Zana Khuder, Al Jazeera, on the Turkish-Syrian border.